Hello, my friends. On my last trip to Washington, D.C., in addition to seeing the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, I also toured St. Pope John Paul II's National Shrine. When you mention St. John Paul II, most Catholics I know immediately say something like, "I love him," or "he was my favorite pope." But he had gone on to heaven years before my conversion, so when I went to see the shrine, the only thing I really knew about St. John Paul II was that he had miraculously survived an assassination attempt and that he was everyone's favorite pope. I kind of feel like I need to turn in my Catholic card by saying something like that. Anyways, the shrine is absolutely stunning. It began as a cultural center in 2001, 4 years before his death, and was a place to come and learn about the faith. The center also held regular exhibits featuring religious arts. After St. John Paul II died in 2005, the building began to transform, and the site formally became a shrine in 2011 when St. John Paul II was canonized by Pope Francis. The U.S. Conference of Bishops designated it a national shrine in 2014. The site contains 2 worship centers, the Redemptor Hominis Church and the Luminous Mysteries Chapel. Both are stunning pieces of mosaic art created by Father Marco Rubnik. The Redemptor Hominis mosaics feature a biblical timeline from the fall of man to its redemption. The mosaics have a real Byzantine vibe to them, and the entire space feels like you have walked into an Orthodox icon. The altar and ambo are of Italian marble and feature the apostles and the women from the tomb. They were designed and carved by Edoardo Ferrari and complemented the space perfectly. There are also several other relics within the space. The other worship site is called the Luminous Mysteries Chapel. The mosaics there are just as stunning and feature imagery represented within the luminous mysteries of the Rosary, the newer Rosary that St. John Paul II himself instituted in 2002. It is a smaller, more intimate chapel, and here there is a first-class relic of St. John Paul II as well as other saints. The site also holds a museum that takes you through St. John Paul II's life. As I mentioned before, I only had the vaguest idea of who St. John Paul II was before my tour, and I wish I had known more about who he was when I went to the shrine. However, what I have learned has affected me tremendously, and now I can hardly wait to take another pilgrimage. He had a rough life. He lost his sister, mother, and brother while he was pretty young, and his father when he was just 20. He would spend much of his life without his family and alone in Poland during the occupation by the Nazis and then the communist regime. Learning about his life made me wonder if I have found a saint that might understand the chaos, violence, and loneliness that has been a large part of my early life. I also learned that St. John Paul II suffered from a near-fatal auto-pedestrian accident that permanently altered his posture and affected his gait. He suffered from chronic pain and emotional trauma for years before he became the Pope. And that's the point. Statistically speaking, severely damaged people destroy themselves. He didn't do that. He became the Pope. So I'm incredibly interested in how he managed to navigate his lifetime of pain well enough to make that much of a contribution to society. I plan on taking another pilgrimage to his shrine very soon.